Sri Lanka, a country known for its natural beauty, ancient relics, and clean beaches, was shattered by its 30-year war that made thousands of youth dead and a significant number of people disabled. One third of the landmine victims were children who ended up experiencing disability. The census in 2011 stated that persons with disabilities represent more than 1.6 million of the country's population, but the World Health Survey of 2012 referred to more than 2 million citizens as living with disabilities. Sri Lanka has one of the best primary healthcare systems administered by the government that offers free services, but there were no outreach clinics providing rehabilitation services such as physiotherapy, speech therapy, and occupational therapy. The majority of schools and higher education institutes in the country are government owned and offer free education facility for all the students. Yet, 34% of children with disabilities at the school going age in Sri Lanka in 2017 had no access to any kind of education.
About 2 years ago, in our community, most of the children and youth with disabilities, like me, experience difficulties in accessing the service and programs that our peers were enjoying. Persons with disabilities were not visible in the community due to stigma. Added to that were other issues like inaccessibility and mobility constraints that made us self-isolate. It's a very big problem. Sometimes the community had their own interest. Disability was an alien topic for the majority. But we most prefer involve with you, learning with you, work with you. The divisional secretaries was the only place that many of us knew. We go there to get our monthly allowance. The social services officers helped us get in other government entitlement including assistive devices, self-employment grants, housing grants, and formed us into Swashakti organization. Many of these organizations were operating from the divisional secretariats and were not very active. There were also gaps in the supply of devices and the allocation of government funds for disability sector programs.
I am living in Pultlam, Karatiu. My son name is Haisab. He can't speak over here. We have to take him to Colombo and bring him back. We don't know the Sinhala language. To take him to the hospital it costs 10,000 a day. Doctor said we'll have to fix a camera and to do an operation. But we are unable to do that.
Many of us learn to read and write from other family members or neighbors. Inclusive education was a dream that never came true. The school is our village had no special education facilities, accessible infrastructure, support system, teachers trained on disability specific teaching methods, and assistive technology or service to suit our specific needs. Many parents never consider educating their children with disabilities. We watched our sisters and brothers going to schools in their smart-looking uniforms.
My name is Nipun. I am 22 years old. I went to school but the school principal refused to accept me due to my weak eyesight. He said to look for the other special schools, but there was no such special schools here. My younger brother and elder sister took effort to teach me to read and write.
In 2018, the Child Fund and Voice reached our villages to help us overcome those barriers, introducing a community-based rehabilitation program funded by Lipoid. The expected to cover many villages in Mena, Mulathiv and Putlam district. The project was primarily to support children and youth with disability to address their rehabilitation and education problems. I volunteered to be one of the key informed of the project and received through training to identify children and youth with disabilities in our villages. The Kim camp was a big day for our community. Everyone whom we surveyed come for their assessment with hope for a better future. There were also persons who have never been exposed come to these camps for assessment. That was the foundation for the development of a rehabilitation plan for each child and youth with disabilities and formation of the self-help groups.
I am from a village called Mailankulam in Panathavilluwa. My name is Takshila. This is my brother Sudhita Prabhat. This camp was very useful and important for people like us, and we thank for conducting this camp. The doctors who came for the survey was highly qualified specialists. They direct us on how to take care of PWDs and how to help them to do their day-to-day activities. With this fact, we were able to grasp on how to look after the PWDs and the way to help them. So we are glad to conduct in this camp.
It is my child with disability. He was injured due to the military attacks during war period. Till now, I am taking my son to hospital for treatment.
Going to school was an unreachable dream for many of us. Our schools were not prepared for it and required a lot of improvements, including training teachers, sensitizing other children and their parents, as well as developing the classrooms and school premises to suit our specific needs.
With a small classroom, we are doing the educational activities for the child with disabilities. We do not have enough infrastructure for this child with disabilities. Even in this hardship, we are committed to educate these children for a better future. Currently, our school is developing to give special education to the child with disabilities.
CBR project was brought to our institute. At the time, we did not have much facilities to look after these children with disabilities. We are thankful to the Voice for coming forward to help us.
My child was unable to learn. He does not remember anything. My child is much better off than when he was put in the special education unit.
I am Mahima. I am studying in Putlam Serakoli school. My mother takes me to school every day. Mom drops me at the school gate. Then I go myself to the classroom by wheelchair. I got a wheelchair in the Kim camp. My friends to take me for outings. I also finished my scholarship exam. I am now studying in grade 6.
The schools here refuse to take my children due to the disability. After the Voice Area Federation organization come forward to help us. Now we have a school for our children and a classroom, and the child is now learning well, and it makes us happy to see our child learning.
Voice helped me to join the VT Center. I am currently learning there. I have another 1 year to complete my studies in VT Center. After my studies from VT Center, they told me they will find an employment for me. I am now living in VT.
I have two sons. They both can't speak. They are now going professional training. My husband passed away when they were small. I hope my two sons will do something after returning from vocational training.
Having not implemented the national CBR program in the project area, we were the passive recipients of government services. The project team with the volunteers mobilized independent self-help groups of persons with disabilities, caregivers and volunteers who were linked to the DPOs.
It was so much helpful for us to get together as persons with disabilities, together as self-help groups, and work for our economic resilience and support one another.
We have a strong authority to support our Vanatha division. With the given support, we are going strong forward.
In consultation with various institutes to build a resource center to educate the CWDs, now that need has been completely fulfilled. As their basic human rights, we should provide them this special education one by one. For this, Voice supported us, and I am very much happy to say that from Puttalam, we have an organization that works with us, integrating to educate and uplift the CWDs, and I appreciate the support we receive from Voice.
Voice has been giving their service for more than a year and a half to uplift the CWDs and YWDs education, and they have achieved it. They have conducted Kim Camp to identify the need for the health and have completed it by meeting the CWDs and YWDs health requirement. Through this, we were able to identify new PWDs and their needs as well.
This program will not be limited only to the divisional level. We'll have work at national level to uplift the person with disabilities, and that should be our ultimate goal and victory. We thank Voice for selecting Vanatha division in Puttalam district to help persons with disabilities. They got together and gathered PWD in the village level and formed a SHG and gave fund to uplift their economy by creating the environment to establish a shop in the village. Now in this village, the SHG is running actively.
We, along with volunteers and other supporters, have developed plans to overcome many issues at the DPO level. Now we know whom to approach and how to persuade to get our needs addressed.